Hello, I am Stephen Smatt. I thank you for being a part of my capstone project for the Watson School of Education, Master's in Elementary Education program at UNC Wilmington. As a teacher, I am passionate, positive, adaptive, and willing. My mission is to encourage positivity and leadership to shape lifelong learners. I will provide a multitude of opportunities and experiences to my students on their educational journeys to grow and succeed. We will learn and grow together, and I look forward to embolden a passion to learn in my students, but also look forward to being transformed and inspired by them. My main goal is for all students to achieve academic excellence, maintain a positive outlook, and develop leadership skills that will enable them to become leaders of the world. In my perfect world, all students will have a positive attitude and will strive to be the best. Students will understand that the world is full of opportunities. All they must do is go out and grab that brass ring. Students will believe in themselves and believe they can achieve anything. Most of all, students and educators will never give up. We will fail. We will try again. We will fall. We will get back up. We will hurt. We will forgive. We will always keep moving forward. In terms of measuring success for others, I realize that people make mistakes. And the true successes of life come from what people do with their mistakes or shortcomings. Knowing what I've had to overcome throughout life leads me to believe that everyone is capable of learning. This is the reason I believe that anyone can overcome whatever obstacle that lies in their way, and the reason I will never give up on any student or fellow teacher. One more of my goals as an educator is to use innovative and creative strategies to gain and retain students' interest. Whether this comes from my passion for the arts or technology, I am determined to find a way to reach every one of my students. I thrive on trying to make learning fun and exciting, but most importantly, my goal is to find a way to let every student know that I care about them. Hence, my life's passion is to help people find their own unique paths to success. When I took Development of Language and Literacy curriculum, I had Dr. Bradford Walker, and he would share his experiences in the Japanese classrooms, and he even shared his research paper, Getting It Right, with us. And he says in the research paper that we often confuse literacy growth with higher scores. If an engagement doesn't appear to result in higher test scores, we often dismiss it from our curriculum. I'm clearly guilty of this. But moving to where he was talking to a Japanese professor, he made the comment to the Japanese professor, "I like the way you let kids be kids, the way you focus on the process of learning, not so much on the right answer." And the Japanese professor was surprised in hearing this and said to him, "Well, we learned it from you, John Dewey." And I I will remember that because it was something so, it's something so simple because it's been there this whole time. John Dewey's, he's an, education philosopher. I know you know that, but it's like the foundation of it all. He was there whenever it was all coming together of the philosophies of education. Well, to be quite honest, I let myself be overwhelmed with assessments and scores that I lost sight of why I was there. It was true, you got all these assessments and all these deadlines you got to make, and I just, oh, over time, thinking about what Dr. Walker shared with us and the Japanese schools, I realized I wasn't being myself. I was not liking the way I was running my classroom, so I began to lighten up a whole lot. Um, I lighten up with rule enforcement. I know that doesn't sound like a good classroom management off the bat, but it was because I stopped being so strict. I started encouraging students to just try. Having that growth mindset was where we needed to be. Students needed to understand, hey, I didn't get 100 on this. I may have only got one or two right, but you know what? That's one or two right you didn't have in the beginning. And you know what? And I started to encourage it and show them, hey, you know what? That's growth. You tried. If they didn't get any right, well, you know what? They tried that, and I would encourage them that, hey, never give up. And So I I began to stray away from the traditional whole group lecture worksheets and implemented creative freedom, active learning, arts-based activities, creativity through technology, celebrating students' cultures, inviting family members into the classroom, and teaching us about their cultures, learning from each other, buddy reading with kindergarten, utilizing think, pair, share, whole group, small group discussions instead of lectures, 5-minute quick writes, polling, asking their questions, taking and using their opinions for future classwork and activities, posting student work and having gallery walks, forming an in-class book club. I learned that one from my assistant principal this past year. And using four corners. I mean, it's active learning. Um, I have been questioned about my teaching methods because it almost looks like chaos in my room, but it really isn't. Uh, I would educate them that active learning can be backed by research-based strategies and theories such as Charles Baumwell's active learning theory, Jean Pierre active learning environments within intellectual development, and John Dewey's educational philosophy of pragmatism. I became excited when I was speaking. Uh, Correct pronunciation, Jean Piaget. Thank you.
During Dr. Lyle's arts integration across the curriculum and creative technology integration and STEAM curriculum courses, I exercised Lev Vygotsky's zonal proximal development and social constructivism. With every STEAM and technology task I was assigned to perform for these classes, my class was right there with me. I involved them in all my assignments and gave them opportunities to use programs beyond their age expectations, such as Photoshop, green screening, and movie making. I used the programs and tasks and based them around the curriculum that we were doing at the time. With rocket building, we included measurement, graphing, addition and subtraction. Coding on Scratch is incorporated into our school already, but I challenged them to go further into it than they had before. And with Photoshop, they wanted to take Star Wars photos for Star Wars Reads Day. We used a green screen in Photoshop. They wrote a short Jedi Warrior biography about themselves to go with their picture. Lev Vygotsky's viewed interaction with fellow students as an effective way to develop skills and strategies. I grouped up lower students with higher students by using the skill of proximal development. My lower students were able to benefit from these activities in science, math, and ELA subject areas. I quickly found out at the beginning of the year that the students absolutely love technology just as much as I do, which is a lot. They received their one-to-one laptops and they were so intelligent and savvy in using it, it was amazing. So I had to involve my students in all the technology components and everything I had to do with the STEAM curriculum, activities, and um, all the creative technology integration. It was phenomenal. My students were phenomenal. I couldn't have had a better class to have worked with all of these assignments, and I learned so much from them, and I hope they learned from me as much as I did from them. It was an incredible experience.
During these STEAM-based approaches, I believe that my students mastered 21st century skills such as collaboration and teamwork, creativity and imagination, critical thinking, and problem solving. Giving them the creative freedom and really helps them dive deep into the critical thinking factor, and then all the components work together. Now, the reason why I chose those is because through research I found that there are various frameworks of 21st century skills, but these are the critical areas that all agree upon. So collaboration, teamwork, creativity, and imagination, critical thinking, problem solving, they all branch off of one another. But I really feel that the creative freedom really causes them to think critically, and then that causes them to problem solve. But then they have to try to focus on collaboration and teamwork, which is where they struggled. But you know what? They only struggled in the beginning because I kept doing the practice and practice and practice. You can see their age differences in these pictures because we did it throughout the year. And it was a consistent thing. And I feel that they grew from it and I grew from it in learning how to facilitate the classroom to make them understand that, hey, I need to learn how to work together with other students. I need to be a team player. I can be a leader, but have to understand when can I step back and be a team player. I feel that we all grew from this experience this past year, and I hope that they grew. I hope that their growth will show in the following years of of their education to come. In Dr. Buchanan's Action Research for Elementary Educators class, I focused my research around the question, can student leadership make a positive impact on students' academic success and behavior? During this research, I had 4 students whose behaviors were affecting the learning opportunities of others, and I needed to make a change. I took a Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow's humanistic approach, where learning is student-centered and personalized, and the educator's role is to facilitate. I gave those 4 misbehaving students an opportunity that they took. The opportunity was to become a small group leader and teach to their strengths. So I took them aside and I gave them one-on-one small group lessons on how to be a small group teacher. And they were so excited and ready to go that I let them go after the first week of training, and I observed an incredible amount of positivity from the student leaders and of the students being taught in the small groups as well. Through observation, I was astonished by listening to and watching these students in action. They were completely different children and smiled more than I had ever seen. After the first block of time that I gave them, that time that they were just begging to start, they were begging for more and asking to do it again tomorrow. I told them, well, tomorrow's Saturday, you can't do it then, but we'll consider Monday. And I also told them, I want you to do it once or twice a week. I wanted to be something special that they look forward to earning. I used B.S. Skinner's operant conditioning with these students because their behavior was positively reinforced as I shaped them up to be small group student leaders. Their behaviors drastically changed for the remainder of the school year as they became strong, positive student leaders. What do you do when a student demonstrates destructive, aggressive behavior that causes fellow classmates to be fearful to come to school? Be an advocate. In Dr. Jones' public policy and advocacy for children and families, we were challenged to take a stand and be an advocate for a certain group of children. This student had ADHD and ODD, and I chose to take a stand and advocate for students diagnosed with ADHD. I narrowed it down to where I documented his attention deficit hyperactivity would be a precursor for him to be defiant. So I had to do what I could to help prevent the negative behavior and keep him in the classroom. He deserves a chance for an education, just as all of the other students did. I realized that through Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he wasn't going past the physical stage, which is the first stage of the hierarchy. In collaboration with the assistant principal, we started with making him feel a sense of security and safety in school. It took a while, but we got him to a point to where he did want to come to school and not want to leave early from getting in trouble. In the process, we achieved the social and ego stages of the hierarchy by showing nothing but love and care, something he had not experienced before from an educator. He gained several friends, and he was never able to have a friend before because his behavior was so negative no one wanted anything to do with him. Gaining friends and feeling loved helped his self-esteem go up. He felt a sense of belonging and he was able to finish out the school year, something he hadn't been able to do for 2 years in a row due to being homebound because of his behavior. He surpassed his end of the year reading level, and I feel comfortable saying that he reached the self-actualization of the hierarchy. He needed the basics, something he was not provided because everyone always gave up on him in the past. But not me, not the principal, not the assistant principal. We're in the business for student success and achievement, not failure. In Dr. Capitano's culturally relevant curriculum and teaching course, I was introduced to Gloria Lanson Billings, the creator of the culturally relevant teaching concept. Gloria Lanson Billings is quoted saying, "Culturally relevant teaching is a pedagogy that empowers students intellectually, socially, emotionally, and politically by using cultural reference to impart knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Teachers that practice the pedagogy of culturally relevant teaching create a bridge between students' home and school lives, but still follow all the standards and requirements of the curriculum." In social learning theory, Albert Bandura agrees with the behavioralist learning theories of classical conditioning, operant conditioning, but he adds two important ideas. Mediating processes occur between stimuli and responses, and behavior is learned from the environment through the process of observational learning. I made observations that Pokemon was a large part of my students' culture. They would wear Pokemon-themed clothing, have Pokemon-themed lunchboxes and backpacks, and they would bring Pokemon playing cards. And then it hit me. What can I do with Pokemon in my teaching? A few days later, I got an idea to draw a map, and I had no direction of where I was going with it. I went up to the whiteboard and started drawing. My students were very intrigued and stopped and stared out of curiosity. I ended up creating a Pokemon Pathways map. I created a stimuli that connected with most of the class. It was pure excitement. And the other students who did not make a connection responded to their observations of the other students and became excited as well. This helped me make a bridge in the social learning theory. I used the map as a teaching tool. Students would encounter various Pokemon and battle them. They would have to answer current math topic questions correctly in order to catch the Pokemon and move on and try to reach the stadium. The stadium is like a championship round where they earn badges for winning. I made them all badges for every pathway we took, and they took pride in winning that small piece of decorative construction paper. Later, students made maps themselves, and I took a Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow's humanistic approach and allowed the students who created maps to run the Pokemon pathway. They created all the questions, and they loved the spotlight. Patience is the ability to count down before you blast off. Well, when I complete my Master's of Elementary Education, I am going to have to take a year off from school. Not teaching school, but being a college student as I complete my third year of teaching. When I complete my third year of teaching, I plan on pursuing the administration degree because I want to be an administrator. I would love to be a leader of a school and just be a positive impact, a loving impact, a caring impact on many students and teachers and staff as well. And I mean, a whole community of, because the school is a community. I would love to be a great impact on people's lives and encourage positivity, encourage love, encourage care. Um, I would love to do that. And then after becoming an administrator for a while, I'd love to move up in the system, go to the Board of Education, and continue spreading the positivity and love, and make sure that all students are afforded an excellent education and that they can reach greatness and accomplish all of their goals and go on to higher level education. And I would love to take it even further, go to the state level and the federal level whenever I'm done with being at the local board of education. Why not? I love to teach at the university level and continue on making positive changes at the university level. Why not? I would love to do all of this, and I'm not sure if I can fit it all in one lifetime, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm dedicated to being an educator for the rest of my life, and I love it, and I'm so excited and can't wait for the future. I just have to remember that I need my patience, because I can't blast off yet. But The one thing that I will always remember is that life has two rules. One, never quit. Two, don't forget number one. All will be well. Keep moving forward.